When my grandmother died, no one wanted the house. It stood high in the Ukrainian mountains, far beyond the last paved road, beyond the last streetlight, beyond the last place where phone signals still worked. Even as a child, I remembered the silence there, feeling heavier than normal silence. As if the air itself was listening. The will was simple. The house was mine. There was only one handwritten note folded inside the envelope. Do not sleep in the front room. And if you hear knocking, do not answer. I almost laughed when I read it. Almost. It took me 5 hours to reach the village. The GPS stopped working an hour before I arrived. The asphalt ended. The forest closed in. The road narrowed until it became something between a path and a memory. When I finally saw the house, I felt something I couldn't name. Relief. And something else. The village was empty. Not abandoned, just empty. No smoke from chimneys. No dogs barking. No distant voices. The houses stood like props on a stage after the audience had left. But my grandmother's house looked maintained. The windows were clean. The door wasn't locked. And inside it was warm. I ignored the note. Of course I did. The front room had the largest window, the best fireplace, the only comfortable bed. I told myself it was just superstition, mountain folklore passed down through generations. That night, snow began to fall. At exactly 3:03 a.m., I woke up. Not because of a sound, because of a feeling, like someone had just stopped staring at me. The room was dark, but the moonlight spilled across the floor in pale silver. I held my breath. Then I heard it. Knocking. 3 slow knocks. From inside the room. Not the door. Not the window. The wall. Behind me. I didn't move. The knocking stopped. Then came breathing. Soft. Close. Right behind my head. I turned slowly. Nothing. Just the old wooden wardrobe against the wall. I told myself it was the house settling. Old wood shifting in the cold. Then I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The wardrobe door was slightly open. I was certain it had been closed. Inside, it was pitch black. But I could hear it. Breathing. Slow. Patient. Waiting. The next morning, I told myself I'd imagined it. Grief does strange things to the mind. I decided to explore the house properly. In the hallway, opposite the front room, hung an old mirror. I remembered it from childhood. My grandmother used to tell me never to look into it at night. I stood in front of it now. My reflection stared back. But something was wrong. It was a fraction of a second delayed. When I blinked, it blinked slightly too late. I froze. My reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. I ran outside. The snow had covered everything overnight. The road, the trees, the rooftops, and there were footprints. One set, leading from the forest to the house. None leading away. I told myself they were mine. But they were barefoot. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed in the kitchen with the lights on. At 3:03 a.m., the power went out. The house fell into darkness. Then I heard her voice. My grandmother. Soft. Gentle. Exactly as I remembered. Why did you come back? My throat tightened. I inherited the house. I whispered. Silence. Then, you were never supposed to leave. The breathing returned. This time, it wasn't behind me. It was everywhere. Inside the walls. Inside the floor. Inside my chest. I forced myself upstairs. The attic door was open. I was certain it had been locked when I arrived. Inside, I found old photographs scattered across the floor. Pictures of the house. Pictures of the village. Pictures of me, sleeping in the front room. Taken from the corner. Taken from inside the wardrobe. Taken from behind me. Some were recent. Dated this week. I dropped them. I never took these, I whispered. A voice answered from behind me. You did. The attic window reflected my face. But it wasn't mine anymore. The smile was too wide. The eyes too empty. Suddenly, memories began surfacing. Not childhood memories. Older ones. Snow. Forest. Darkness between trees. Watching the house from a distance. Waiting for someone to return. Waiting for myself. I tried to leave at dawn. The road was gone. There was no village. No other houses. Just endless forest. And my grandmother's house. Standing alone. I turned around slowly. The front door was open. Inside, I saw someone standing in the hallway. Me. Or what used to be me. It smiled gently. Like a host welcoming a guest home. And that's when I understood. I didn't inherit the house. The house inherited me. Now, if you ever find yourself driving in the Ukrainian mountains, if your GPS stops working, if you see a house where there shouldn't be one, don't go inside. Because sometimes, the house isn't haunted. Sometimes, it's hungry. and it's waiting for you to come back.